Let's see where we're at. All right, give me just 1 second. I'm going to get everything set up. Wait for people to come in. I know Jimmy Dore's live right now, but this has to be done right now. This needs to be said. So let me just go ahead and share, make sure this is out there. Okay. All right. So tonight I'm going to be bringing on James with Monotalk, but I'm just going to do a really quick rant really quick because this needs to be said. We need to talk about this and we need to grasp the reality that we're in. And I know most of the people that watch my channel know exactly the predicament that we're in, but we cannot parse our words anymore. This is a war that is being waged on us. If you look at the tactics, the strategies, the actions that the people in power are using on us, these are military tactics. They are cutting our lines of communication through censorship and fascism. They are wiping people off the internet and making it to where we can't leave our houses. We cannot talk to one another. We cannot have a civil discourse. We're not allowed to talk about certain things, or else we're going to get pulled from YouTube or social media. The military will come in and take all of your electronic equipment, all of your technology, to where you are not allowed to talk. We have witnessed this time and time again, whether it's in the United States or abroad. This happens. This is happening right now. They are cutting us off from resources. This is one of the military tactics that they use on us. They cut us off with our communication. They cut us off with our resources. We're not allowed to have money. We're not allowed to organize. We have free speech zones now. We have to have permits to protest. We have to ask our government, basically, if we're allowed to protest. We're not allowed to just go out and say and do what we want peacefully. And when we do, what are we met with? Thugs in uniforms with guns and batons and pepper spray and tasers. You have police that are just, all they are thugs in uniforms. That's it. And they are there to protect the powerful and the wealthy. That's their job. So their job is to go out there and crack the skulls of the people that go out there and do the right thing. The people that are actually trying to protect their communities. The people that are actually there saying, hey, we need to live. We want to survive. We can't live on minimum wage. We don't want police killing us in the streets. We can't stand the fact that our elected leaders, supposedly elected leaders, are out there taking and doing nothing for us. They do nothing for us. What have they done for you? We all pay taxes. I don't care if you're unemployed or you're on Social Security or you don't get any of that. You pay taxes. If you walk into a store and you buy a loaf of bread, you are paying taxes and you are not being represented whatsoever. This is why we wrote the Declaration of Independence. Go back and look at that. See all the things that we were accusing England of doing and what we're doing now. We're doing the same things that we declared independence from hundreds of years ago. And we have become the monster ourselves. And so we need to get real with our tactics and how we fight back. Because what do they do to us? They divide us, right? They are unified in their mission of making us obsolete. This is eugenics. They decide who lives and dies. And guess what? They don't think your life is worth saving. I know that they get up there and they preach about your health and safety and keeping you protected during a pandemic, but that is not the case. If that was the case, you would have health insurance. You would have a living wage. We wouldn't have had one $1,200 stipend. We wouldn't have mass, evictions, homelessness, unemployment, sending people to war for profit, not for freedom, not for our safety. This is for profit. All of it is for profit. This is exactly by design. Everything is by design to make you obsolete. I want you to think about how many people die every year due to a lack of resources, whether it's through climate change, war, poverty, homelessness, lack of health care. Think about how many hundreds of thousands of people that die every single year just because they weren't born into a wealthy family. And that's where we're at. And this is the war that is being waged on us. And yes, it is a war. You can write your senator, you can do what you want, but you know what? You do not write to the people that's waging war on you. You can't write to them. You can't ask them for things. You demand things. You come together, pool your resources, and you fight together. And doing anything else is a waste of time. Now, that being said, I wanted to go and touch on my last video that I did about Jimmy Dore. I don't know if I was harsh on him. I just pointed out some of the problems that I was seeing with his tactics, but I had to say that he was wildly more successful than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. And not so much for really making the changes, like, making AOC do, or any of our elected officials doing what we want or need. But he's exposing a lot of people in media. He's exposing so-called leftist, activists. He's doing a lot to expose the people that claim to be fighting on our side and claim to be telling us the truth and claim that they're with us. And they're not, absolutely not. So if you got a problem with what Jimmy Dore is doing, yeah, you don't have to agree with everything that it is. I mean, I know that I have my problems with it too. But the thing is you can't attack Jimmy Dore for trying. He's doing what he thinks is best, and there are some positive things coming from this. So, that's what it's going to come down to. They keep us divided, and until we can unify and attack them and keep them divided, we have to treat them the same way they treat us. They keep us divided. They keep us arguing amongst ourselves. They keep us, our resources divided. They attack our lines of communication. And until we start taking this seriously and recognizing that this is a war being waged on us and that we need to fight back, we're not going to get any changes from this. Nothing going to come from, pussy hat protests. It's going to take real leverage and pressure from multiple sides, and we must keep them divided. We must divide their resources because their resources are powerful. They have a lot on their side. So we have to be extremely efficient in what we do and how we do it. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring James on.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to be on camera?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I got to unmute all that stuff. Started wear a condom hat. It's just not on correctly. Howdy, aloha, everybody. You got to bring your thing down.
Yeah. I'm doing it now.
So, yeah. Look, I know there's some decent police out there. I've met a few, but they're going to get paid. They're going to get. It's not just going to be them. They've got to follow their orders. But at a certain point, I'm concerned about how far they're going to go because there's disruption everywhere. I mean, we're not just talking about the Democratic Party that seems to be falling apart. That seems, even though they claim they're doing a great job for everybody at every moment of every time, that's just completely incorrect. And for from what I'm seeing, for them to get by with the countless amounts of voter fraud, rigging, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's insurmountable amount of proof. And we're watching Republican as well as Democrat uh, supposed public leaders just dropping the ball on this. It's almost like they don't want you to know what's really going on with the machines, the Dominion, the entire process, how the mail got counted days later, how they're hiding and throwing away. I mean, it just the list is endless, and it's and then we find out that Barr didn't really give a shit, and he resigned. I actually witnessed. If I could share real quick, yeah, do you mind? Yeah, so hopefully this will come up if I got it right. Oh, I'm sharing me. Okay, yay. No, I'm not really doing that. So I'm gonna go here. Where is it at? Let me see. Let me get over there. Yeah, right here. So Alex Jones, who he has a base of people, and believe it or not, a lot of his fans are Trump fans. I really am not a big fan of Alex Jones. There are a couple things that I found very interesting besides lizard people and flat Earth and a few other things that have actually come to fruition. They've actually panned out and been spotted. He's been on Joe Rogan and a few others. He was on there with what was his name? Troy.
Tim Dillon.
Tim Dillon. Yeah, great. They spent the entire day together, and they had a civilized conversation. I mean, the guy's an opportunist, right? There he is. He's at Millie Vanilli or whatever the hell her name is, Millennial Millie, and he crashes that party. And what he's trying to do, as well as others, um, is to let people know that an anomaly. This kid, I forgot his first name, but they're against the lockdowns. They're against the. I mean, he's getting pissed. People are just giving him shit, and he's against uh, this whole flu shit. And a lot of Republicans are kind of like with Trump in regards to taking a vaccine that you actually can't uh, uh, sue anybody over in case there are any terrible or heinous or disgusting side effects. Even within the Republican Party, there is some division. Even within the Democratic Party, of course, there's been division ever since Bernie bent over in 2016 and you know took it every which way but loose in Iowa and then some. So if you still believe that Bernie's on your team, and if you're part of the 99%, poor, working poor, minorities, etc., uh, he's not. He's just not. But there is division in both parties. There's division uh, with people against each other's party. There's religious division. There's social division. There's LGBTQ division. Even within, uh, I mean, the bill that Tulsi Gabbard just wanted to pass, right, is the not the one that I talked about on my show earlier, which is get rid of the Patriot Act and a few other bullshit crap from the NDAA. It's get rid of transgender, like grown men breaking the arms of women in sports. Um, and I showed Stevie this video where they had uh, South Park, and they had this like CrossFit cartoon. I'll bring it up later. I'll try to find it. But and it shows the person that was competing all of a sudden within in 2 weeks from the competition decided that he wanted to be transgender, and it's the Macho Man Randy Savage who wants to compete at a CrossFit game, right? And he's just annihilating these girls. But you know what? He wants to dress and be and think and act and feel like a woman. That's anybody's right. But genetically in his body, When he walks up in that cartoon, he's like 2 or 3 times the size of this girl who's already pretty buff already. And I talked to Radoslav, who's some reason he's completely the rational. He's him and the Rational National and Mike Figueroa from the Humanist Report. They're all kind of together. They're like Justice Democratic kind of people, which is never. It's not that hasn't panned out, but it there are people out there that are not privy to men going into the ring and are punching, boxing, wrestling, biking, running, hiking, whatever the fucking event may be, is fair. And I'm sorry, it's just not right now. I mean, if you watch a CrossFit Games, you will see some impressively dynamic, hardcore women that it could lift fucking more than me right now. And and I can put up 145 pounds like 30 times, no problem. But these girls can do it like 50 times. Right? It's amazing the progress of women in athleticism and their sports is just compounding daily. They're just getting quicker, faster, stronger, quicker, faster, stronger. And they're doing it naturally, and that's fine. But until you can literally say that they can't, and I'm going to get back to what you're saying, but this is part of my point. Is there's so much division out there, right? There's so much division that the mainstream media will post and put out there just to ignite you, just to get you started. And there's a lot of people that understand that, yes, it is an actual war in a sense to the death. That there are people out there fighting for their lives to keep food on the table. They're fighting for their lives to live on the streets or under an overpass. They're fighting for their lives to get health care, to live and to not be saturated with hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars in medical debt, pharmaceutical debt. And it's compounding constantly that the people that are actually winning this game, right, are these transgender predator class people that come in. They have their foundations, the MacArthur Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right, Obama Foundation, all these foundations. They come in and they portray that they're helping. Oh, Bill Gates just gave $2 million to so and so and so. It's an investment. It's so that they can get and lobby and do the things that they need to do, and they're fucking tax write-offs anyway. Right? It's not like there's an agenda, a mission, and a purpose. It's not because their heart says I need to help. That's the facade. Kind of like what I'm telling you in regards to the trans is like the facade is that there's a giant male who can bench press 200 pounds. Okay, just a second. There's right, and that same pound for pound human being that is a female can bench 98 pounds. There's a difference here. Okay, and they're working it. And the thing is we need to not be fooled by these things. And I want transgenders to compete, but I want them to compete. I want them to be competitive. But if they've got balls and swing a dick and they've got fucking testosterone, by God, they better fucking step up and compete with males. Okay, because whatever they're taking, estrogen or whatever stuff, it's not going to do it. It may give them some boobs, but they still have fucking massive shoulders. So I keep kind of going back and forth of what I'm trying to convey, right? But the point that I'm really trying to make is the division that's happening out there is just senseless. And what she's actually saying is right now we are in a fight for our lives. We are locked because I brought this point up 100 times in my shows. They care about you, and and every time Jimmy says they, or Kyle says they, or Nico says they, or Roar Media says they, we're talking about the predator class. the corporate, 1%, the elitist oligarchy that's out there. And they want you to fight against each other. They don't want you to turn your head towards them. No way. They don't want you to find out that they're the ones that have built up their wealth, I think in the past 10 or 20 years, by doubling their percentage, 120 to 300% to 500%. They've increased their wealth so massively to where it's not just, I don't even think it's it used to be a handful of people owned more than half of the wealth on the planet, right? Now it's a handful of people that own about 70% of the wealth on the planet. And it's happening a lot quicker in this past 9 to 10 months that we've been through this flu crap. And they're gaining ground. They're not letting up. They're still coming after you. They're still going to they're not taking care of you. They're not feeding you. They're not providing with health care. They're not doing anything because they care so much. They're going to lock you down and they're going to keep you away from each other because they care so much. They're going to stop your business from producing. There's hundreds of businesses, hundreds of thousands, I think, of businesses that have been lost in the past 8 to 9 months. Right? Like they give a shit. They care about Walmart. You can pile up lines and hang out in Walmart. I mean, I've been in Walmart for the past 9, 10 months. Honestly, it's been a fucking zoo every time I go there. Every time I fucking go there. But you can't go into Bob's little grocery store around the corner, not grocery store, whatever store, just to pick up something that you need because it's shut down.
And just on that point really quick, I just want to say, like, by shutting down the independent owners, what you're doing is you're consolidating people in a certain area. So what would happen is if businesses were allowed to operate, during like their normal hours and not have to close down early, or if these other places were open, people would have more options to be able to go to these other stores. So you're not going to have a big mass of people in a certain area. But what they're doing is they don't care about that. What they're trying to do is shut those businesses down and direct that revenue towards Walmart and Amazon and all these other people that are making bank off of this pandemic. So it has nothing to do, as always, about our safety, our health, and well-being. I mean, I think it is absolutely, how is it that there are still people out there that are taking the sides of the people that are in power when they won't give us health care? We're the only countries left that does not provide health care to their citizens, and we still have people licking their boots and making excuses for them. It's absolutely bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. But you know what? I just wanted to get back just really quick. I want to touch on what you were saying because you did bring up transgender people in sports. And that's not really something I talk about too much on here. But since you brought it up, I do want to say, just basically, what my viewpoint is on it, which is, look, if you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting yourself, you are free to do whatever you want. And I don't understand what it's like for somebody to say, I want to be another gender, but I know what it's like to be uncomfortable in your own body. I think we all have our own, things that, we're not comfortable with, but, and I can't imagine what it's like to live like that. But at the same time, it's like, I want there to be competition. I want men and women actually to compete. I don't really like the gender divisions in sports. I would like to see like people compete based on skill rather than on gender. So, I mean, there's some women out there that could absolutely whoop a man's ass at a lot of sports, or, physically at whatever sport that they're in, and vice versa. But, that's not how we have it set up as of yet. So I'm not really sure what the fair way of doing that is. because I would like there's no reason, if that's your passion, if that's what you're good at, you should get to compete. But at the same time, it's like you have women that have dedicated their whole lives um to being the best at something, and then you have somebody that has a biological advantage that comes in and kind of like knocks it out of the park. So it's like, what's the right way to handle that? So I don't have the answer. I would love to have somebody on and interview them, because I mean, I've had a few friends that were transgender, but they weren't into sports or anything like that. So, this never really came up. But it's just like, I have questions. I'm not against anybody. It's just, I have questions. It's like, how do we move forward? How do we handle this? Because I mean, I don't care how you live. If you want to wear a dress, if you want to be a woman, if you want to be a man, whatever, who cares? I don't care. Who cares? What's it matter? But at the same time, like, I do have some respect for these people, because hell, I couldn't do it. You've got these women out there that are, throwing, these gigantic wheels and hammers. And I mean, these are some beastie women that are out there lifting these weights, 600 pounds and stuff. I mean, it's insane what they can do. And I think, like, as time progresses, you're going to see more of a merge between men and women when it comes to sports, because women are getting better and more trained. It's becoming more, normalized to where women can compete in these sports. Whereas, like, even 50 years ago, they just came out with women's running shoes in the 70s, because before that they thought it would hurt our uteruses. We couldn't ride on horses. We couldn't ride on a train. We weren't allowed to run because our precious uteruses would be damaged from all the jostling around. Even though guys got all their junk jostling around when they're running, but nobody worries about that, right? It doesn't seem to make any sense. I'm not to be too graphic, but come on. I mean, when you're running, everything's jiggling. So I mean, come on. There's no difference between men and women on that. But women were held back from, there was these, strict gender roles that women weren't allowed to be strong. You're not allowed to, oh, that's a manly thing. You're not allowed to play sports. You can't do this. You have to do cheerleading. You can't play football. All these different things. So, we're working it out. And I think that we probably would have worked it out by now. But the fact is that there are people in power that stand to gain from us fighting amongst ourselves about things like this. They have us divided on. I mean, even within the LGBTQ community, you have people fighting each other. There's bisexual, erasure. They don't, the gays hate the I mean, Chappelle nailed it when he did his stand up on this. The gays don't really get along with the lesbians. The lesbians don't like the bis, and nobody likes the trans, right? Like, that's how it goes, unfortunately. But that just shows, like even within a group of people that's marginalized, there are people marginalized in that group, because we can't stop infighting long enough. And we're not really uniting on the core issue, which is these people in power are actively keeping us pitted against each other. They make us feel like we are alone and isolated, and that we have no way to fight back. And the only way that we can fight is if we pick on somebody that has less power than us. That's why racism is still a thing. That's why you still have infighting with these groups, because it's people desperately trying to get some kind of semblance of power and control in their life, because our lives are so chaotic by design. They keep us, jumping from job to job. We don't know where our next meal is going to come from. We don't know how we're going to pay our rent. We don't know how long we're going to be working before we're unemployed again. We don't, our futures and even the present is so unclear. We have no idea how to navigate through this. And so the only thing that we can control is, you know what? I could pick a fight with that guy. I could pick a fight with that group. I can fight with them, and you know what? I have control over this one thing in my life. And we wouldn't have the levels of infighting like this if we had another route, if we actually had a valid, route of making changes, but we We do, but we don't. Not when it comes to what they've taught us, right? We don't have checks and balances anymore. That's not a thing. You know, they're all on the same side. All the different branches, they're all on the same side. They're all working together, so we don't have that anymore in our favor. Maybe we never did, but we definitely don't now. So, what's it going to take? How do we work together? And what do we have to do? So maybe we should start doing what they're doing. And I don't mean violently. They are not opposed to using violence, whether it's through poverty or war or cracking the skulls of people. What we need is actual direct action. What we need is boycotting, striking, divesting, because the only thing, everything, they do everything for money. And unless we shut that down, we have to shut down their cash flow. If we don't do that, nothing changes. So I appreciate what Jimmy Dore is doing. I think he's doing a great job of bringing people together, creating momentum. He's exposing a lot of the people that are on the supposed left that don't want things to change. And if you don't want things to change, I'm sorry, you're not on our side. Either you can't stand the way that we're living, or you're complacent with it. And if you're complacent, then I don't have the time of day for you. You're a waste of my time. I am moving on. You're either in my way or you're on my side. And some of these people, a lot of these people that claim to be on our side, like AOC and the squad, they're just in the way. Look, Joe Manchin doesn't sugarcoat it. He says it. He's like, look, I'm not going to give you Medicare for all. But AOC and the squad, they pretend like they're on our side. They get on Twitter. Oh, well, let me tell you about how we need a living wage. Let me tell you about how we need Medicare for all. But at the same time, they vote for Nancy Pelosi. They vote for the bills that take from us and take. That's all they know how to do is take. And then they get on Twitter and pretend like they're some kind of fucking hero. And they're not. I don't care about her kind words. Look at her actions and look what she's done. And what she has done is support the establishment every step of the way. Where has she ever been a threat to Nancy Pelosi? When has she ever been a threat to any of those people? She hasn't risked a goddamn thing. Not one single thing. She hasn't risked anything. All she's done is upgraded her wardrobe. Now she's walking around in $1,000 suits, getting $75,000 or more for every paid speech that she gets. She's making bank, and people are donating to her like she needs the money. Not the Walmart worker or the business that got shut down or any of the homeless people. No, please give AOC your money, because she's hurting real bad with her $75,000 speeches. Anyway, you got anything to add to that? That was a hell of a rant. Oh,
Yeah, we could go.
I mean, what more? I mean, how much more can we take from this? How much more? They keep taking and taking and taking, and you keep hearing on the news about how they keep taking, they ain't giving, they don't care. Shut up. Just calm down. Just calm down. How am I supposed to be calm when everything is going to hell in a handbasket? Please tell me, if I was calm right now, I mean, how could you be calm? How could you be calm in this? Anyway.
That's good. That's good. So let me just say, okay. Yeah. Nobody should be calm. Look, it's simple. I don't know who you're going to call Ghostbusters. I don't know who you're going to email. I don't know who you're going to gripe at or protest at. But if you're still in a political party, and you think they've helped you, just look back. They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything for anybody in a long time. I mean, and that's on both sides of the aisle. And I can guarantee you this: there are millions and millions of Trump fans that are living in poverty. They still don't have a living wage. They don't have health care. They're in gigantic amounts of debt. I would say on the streets, It's not just Democrats, it's Republicans. And there's Green Party people out there on the streets too. And there's probably a few libertarians. But what I'm basically saying is the parties don't give a fuck. They've been compromised. You've been told, you have been told all your life that when you grow up, you need to join a party, right? Well, most of the time when I was growing up, I was partying and not just really, I had the party. I'm the kid on the block that actually had the fucking cake party. But the thing is they're not doing anything. And what, I mean, really, if you're a Democrat and you're poor, whatever, and you're a Republican, you're poor, whatever, and you're going through dire straits, doesn't it just remove the party label for a minute, just and just for a quick second, just remove the religion, remove the social divide on your sexuality or your color of your skin. Just remove that first. Just take that out of the equation for a bit. Just take it out. How how are you doing? How are you really doing in your life? I mean, they're still going to drop bombs on whatever country in the Middle East they want to fucking pick on and create and orchestrate some fucking war against or whatever just to feed the military industrial complex. Doesn't matter who the leader is. That's been pretty consistent, right? They're still going to keep you from getting a decent wage. I mean, we haven't had fucking minimum wage has been raised in 11 years. 11 fucking years. There's still people working for $7.75 an hour, and sometimes some places less. Right? There are that's slave wages, while the corporate elite or the people with these giant corporations, all those people that came out when COVID came out and Trump brought all these people. You had CVS, Walgreens out there, Walmart, a few other companies, and for some fucking stupid reason, My Pillow was out there. What the fucking? I didn't understand any of that, but as far as him being there, that just didn't make any sense to me. But this thing looks really kind of weird on my head. But anyway, what I'm saying is they already lined up who was going to profit from this. That was it. Oh, these are the companies that are going to come to your aid and be there for you, right? We're going to shut down everybody else. But these companies, they're good to go, right? You could walk into CVS from day one because it's a fucking drugstore. You could walk into your grocery store because they have fucking drugs. They have drugs in there. Big pharmaceutical companies are in there. You can still buy those products because those giant corporations are the donors that fucking control your politicians, your legislators, your judiciaries, your executives. It's not you. It's not you. By the way, I have that cartoon. Do you want to see it? No, I don't want to go in that direction anymore. Well, maybe we'll do that some other time.
Yeah.
But um, even there are some people, and I can show you this real quick. Where's he at? And there's many Republicans. This guy's kind of faith-based, but he's fucking all over Trump right now. Right? He's talking about, his name is Anomaly. He has a kind of a Christian base, which there are Christian Democrats, there's no doubt. But he's clearly saying that, I mean, Mitch McConnell just congratulated on the fucking floor of Congress, congratulates Joe Biden for his win. And there are other Republicans doing the same thing when there are, I don't know, 75, 80 million Americans, especially in the Republican Party, that's like, fuck this. With all this information out there, there's like, no, we cannot just let this keep happening. Right? We cannot just let this slide to the wayside. I mean, And he's out there calling Trump on the vaccine and all this shit, that he's pushing it worse, and that he's proved, and so many others have proved, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, that have came out that have walked away from the parties, pretty much walked away because they're sick of it, and they've said this. They've said these words: we're not going to buy your fucking air in a bag anymore. We see it. You completely have to realize at this point that none of them care about you. None of them care about you. I've got a picture, and I should go there. If there's something you want to say, please go ahead, because I want to bring up a picture. It's very important if you have something to add.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, I mean, we're being buried alive. I mean, they just keep shoveling more and more onto us. Debt, unemployment, medical bills, lack of education, a lack of opportunity, just unfairness left and right. You can't catch a break. Where's our break? Where's our bailout? We get no breaks, no breath, no rest. Even in the middle of the night, you're getting sent emails and stuff about how you owe people money. You're getting phone calls from debt collectors. I mean, constant threat. There's not a moment of just peace. And then please watch. I did a show over on Roar Media where I showed examples of how the people in power live, and there are millions of dollars worth of mansions, and that's just one of their homes, right? Not to mention their dual refrigerators full of freaking ice cream. This is how they live. And look at and I did a contrast. Look at how the people live that they rule over. Gavin Newsom and his $5.5 million, almost $6 million home, and the streets are lined with homeless people. Barack Obama is living in a $13 million mansion in Martha's Vineyard. And look at Syria. Look at Libya. He brought slavery back, and he's living in a $13 million mansion. Screw him. Screw all of them. They're all living like this. They're all living like this. And just compare their wealth to the people that they lord over. You don't get to think. You don't have time to think. You don't have time to breathe. You don't have time to relax. It's go, go, go constantly. A constantly working to survive. Just keep your head above water. Not happiness, not relaxation, not vacations, not spending time with your family. You're spending every second of your life just trying to keep your head above water. And a lot of people can't do it. They're not given the opportunity to do that. And a lot of people are going underwater and they're drowning. They are drowning. When the streets are lined with homeless, when massive unemployment, no bailouts for us. But Joel Osteen, he can get $4.7 million in PPE money. PPP. He's getting millions of dollars. What's his name? Brady. He's getting millions of dollars. Millionaires are getting millions of dollars, but you know what? They can't afford to give you $1,200, right? But they feed the people. They feed the people. The people in the food lines.
Let me share this if you don't mind.
I'm just so riled up.
I get fucking riled up, people. I mean, seriously, you have to. And look, I'm not. We're both not. I'm so anti-violent. I wanted to join the Green Party because I really like their 10 commandments. I forget what it's called, and their pillars and all that stuff. I thought that made great sense, and I think the planet should be somewhat in that direction, right? Not to totally, completely, but there's a lot of great things in that. But they just couldn't. They just don't get it. They have. It's almost like they want to lose. They would rather take the dog catcher or school administrator position rather than go for what Lisa Savage was doing is trying to win governor, trying to get Senate positions, trying to get representative positions on a federal level. They just didn't do it. And then Howie Hawkins comes in and he just destroys. I mean, a guy that's won fucking like 24 times. They pick him as the winning guy who's had a political career as running, and he's lost over 20 times. And that's the guy that it's almost like, let's put the slowest horse in the race. Right. And then to boot, right. And if you're Green Party, I apologize, but during Black Lives Matter, this white old guy running with other white old men, trying to be the white old men thing of POTUS, shoots out a bunch of people to collude with the Green Party when you could have had a candidate, which I think would have been great, right? And I'm not just talking about Jesse Ventura, because Jesse said no. Okay, and the reason why he said no is I don't think it's I think the reason why he said no, he had some health problems and he didn't want to leave RT, which is really odd. It's like you don't want to leave RT because you need the health insurance, but you don't want to run to try to save health insurance. It didn't really do well with me. But this guy beats out a Jewish, gay, black man, right? Besides other people that were very, very that were very prominent, good people in the Green Party during Black Lives Matter. Did a photo op at Black Lives Matter, right? It's just for fuck's sakes, that was just disgusting. But if you look at what's happening now, and you're saying, "Wow, this is just it's just gotten worse," right? You're wrong. Okay, and the reason why I'm going to say you're wrong, what the fuck are you talking? You know what? Get that fucker off your show, Red Economics. No, I want you to look at this cartoon. Okay, I want you to take a good look at this cartoon. Oh, let's go back. Sorry. This cartoon right here was created, right, over 80 years ago. And it says this comic is over 80 years old, and yet you don't have to change a thing about it. It's very bit as relevant today as the day it was drawn. And it shows this restaurant and all these plates of money just carried out in these trays, feeding war, the military industrial complex. While, of course, education gets pushed to the side, just ignored. Healthcare gets pushed to the side, right? Science, which is kind of wacky right now, gets pushed to the side. Arts and extracurricular activity, pushed everything pushed to the side. And so we've known these things for a long time. They've kept us at bay forever, because what happens is they still get their money. December 3rd, Congress writes the fucking another blank check to the military industrial complex. And there are families in the military that are still getting food stamps because they can't afford. It's not easy. You're not rich when you join the military. It's not like that's the big glamorous job where you're making you do get health care. That's good. You do get to eat, right? But they provide you with just for you. Now, if you bring on family, good luck, because it's tough. And I've been there. I was on food stamps when I was in the Navy. I was on WIC and some other things when I was in the Navy. It was fucked up, and they're still going through the same thing. So where's the $740 billion every couple of years going to? It goes to fucking weapons of mass fucking destruction. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon. I mean, the list goes on and on. You've heard Graham talk about it. You've heard Ron Pacone. You've heard everybody talk about it. But this shit has been going on for a long time. But what's really interesting, and I've got to bring this up because this is really important. This is really important. Is when I hear somebody say, you know, I was watching MSNBC the other day. I was watching CNN the other day. I was watching Fox News the other day. You know, I was watching BBC the other, Al Jazeera, reading Huffington Post, LA Times, New York Times, what all this stuff. And I'm saying, I want you to look at their broadcasting set. I want you to take a look at their sets. And there's several. There's CNN, there's MSNBC, there's bottom right corner, that is the BBC, which is much bigger now. ABC, Fox News is in there right there. And these are giant multi-million-dollar stages. Where am I operating from? My extra room, right? Where's Stevie operating from? Extra room. Jimmy Dore's operating from a garage. You know, an extra room in the corner, I think of the dining room, I think is where Graham is coming from, right? There are people, Anomaly and all these other people, Spiro, a Colbert Report, Ryan Christensen, he operates from, I guess, his library or something, it's one of his rooms or something. He doesn't have $1 billion stage. He doesn't have a million, you know, these giant sets where for some reason we all believe this is where we need to get our information because they've got these beautiful sets in the background and these giant these glass desks with these huge plexiglass giant monitors and just the fucking show and the show and the show. But guess who pays for all of that? Not you. You don't pay for that. Their advertisers pay for that. And who are their advertisers? Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Johnson & Johnson, okay, Pfizer, okay, Shell, Chevron, Exxon, BP. They pay for that. Do you think they're going to tell you something that's going to help you? Do you truly believe that whatever they say in these giant $1 million sets that are not paid by you, did you fucking pay for the wheel on that fucking chair in that room? No. You didn't spend a fucking dime on their paycheck, their salaries. You think they're going to say something? This is so important for you guys to understand. They are not going to say a fucking thing in your best interest, ever. And they never have. When you have these giant, same thing goes with Facebook. Same thing goes with YouTube. Same thing goes with Twitter. Who's their biggest donors? The predator class. You might make a few bucks here and there and give a little commission to yourself and them, but it's nothing compared to where this money's coming from. These advertisers, which are connected to these giant corporations, pay social media, the giant social media groups, millions upon billions of dollars a year to push out what they want you to think, what they want you to feel, what they want you to understand or be involved with, or a talking point or a narrative or whatever fucking hyperbolic bullshit they're throwing out there. Good example, Brian Williams, when we were bombing fucking Yemen, or was it Syria? I'm not sure which one. Somewhere over there, some people got fucking destroyed by our Tomahawk missiles, right? And he's saying, oh, look how spectacular that is. And then in the background is his green screen behind him. You can see these missiles going and launching, right, into to kill and destroy who knows what child, who knows what baby, who knows what fucking family. But he's okay with that. When most of us are like, well, a lot of us are like, some of us are like, yeah, we're fucking doing it, America. No. Put yourself in their shoes. We consent to this. We We let them in these giant facilities, these huge towers of media power. We give them the consent because of what their perception is, what they're told to tell us. Okay, I want you to go ahead and talk about here. Let's just say this is part of the script. I'm the producer. I want you to go ahead and touch up on, getting health care for people and stuff like that. But as soon as they start to talk about something, say there was a feed problem and then cut them out if they go south. And you've seen that happen dozens of times. It just happened to some governor or something just the other day. He started talking about something. I mean, it happens all the time. Like everything I'm talking about, I would have been off of that fucking show or any of those studios in a millisecond. Because it's not what the advertisers or the donor predator class wants you to hear, believe, think, know. You have to understand. If you ever hear anybody say to you, BBC said, just say, look, if you're going to keep talking and you're going to use the BBC, I will just go grab the Inquirer and bring it over here. It's the same fucking thing. Just bring the Inquirer over here. Because I'd rather read the fucking Inquirer about an alien with 3 legs.
Fat boy.
Right? A fat boy or something, instead of listening to you talk about fucking Rachel Maddow or fucking Chris Hayes or Sean Hannity or fucking whoever, Tucker, just name them. What's interesting, because this is really bad, is Tucker Carlson for some reason has been closer. He's been so close, but you can kind of tell that they're pulling back the reins on this kid. You can almost see it in his face, right? You can almost see it in his face, and I've seen this on many things. By the way, Democracy Now! Is shit. Okay, I'm not a Dole. What's his name? David Dole. Not a fucking fan. Sorry, not a fan. He's just a prelude to fucking MSNBC, right? Todd Kalinske, just a prelude to MSNBC. I think he's trying to get Chris Hayes' job, honestly, at this point. Mike Figueroa, that guy, he was gone a long time ago. What do you think about him? Honestly, he's just crap.
Yeah.
But my point is, and I think you guys get it. It's real simple. You have to do your own due diligence. I do tons of it. Stevie does tons of due diligence. I'm working. She's doing a lot of stuff. Working. She's trying to prepare her shows, get her information out there. You should see her freaking binder. She writes stuff constantly, just notation after notation after notation. If this woman sounds educated, it's because, for one, I think she's got like 130 something Mensa IQ. She's brilliant, and she does a lot of research. It's pretty impressive. I put mine out bits and pieces. I gather this, gather that. I think what's important to know is that you've got to. We're at this point where we can't trust. You can't trust. I'm sorry. You can't trust anybody. As much as I love Jimmy Dore, I don't trust everything he says. As much as I love you, honey, I don't trust everything you say. I'm kidding, but as much as I like a lot of people that put out some great, Burma's put some great stuff out there. Luke with We Are Change put some great stuff out there. But I'm gonna look at the stuff he's putting out there, and I'm gonna find out where that came from. I'm not just gonna depend on him to provide my knowledge. This is why I got censored and got one of my YouTubes pulled. It was like my best YouTube I've ever fucking did, right? And it got, maybe it was just very well put together. It was well put together, and if I can pull that, if you want a copy of it, I'll send you. But basically, at this point in our lives, you've got to be your own party. You have to be you cannot. Now I'm saying I want you to, people love to follow people and get into the groove and be a part of a party or group. I get it, right? I get it. I mean, when I was raised in LA and Orange County, I had fucking the Bloods and the Crips, and I had fucking gangs and this and that trying to get me to join their gangs. Didn't do it. I'm my own gang. I was my own fucking gang. You need to be your own gang. You need to do your research by yourself. Chickadee check yourself before you wreck yourself. Make for goddamn sure anybody sends you something. And I've had this mistake. What I'll do is I'll forget something. I'll post it on my Facebook or my Twitter. And then just because it looks interesting, I'll put something, wow, interesting. Huh. And then somebody will come in, whoa, the fuck would you put that in there? Dude, I'm just fucking putting it up there. I'm just putting it, I'm not with it or about it or on it or for support it or unsupporting it. I'm just putting it up there because I don't want to lose it. Right. And I want to do some research and then later on I'll go in and I found out this is bullshit. Or I found that this is wrong. But isn't this interesting that somebody would go to this extent to create this crap? My point is you have to start. I trust a lot of news sources out there, right? This much. I trust you with your information that you give me more than I trust any of them, for sure. And I definitely trust Steve because he's got some great information. But thank you for letting me rant on that one. But please, I'm just saying, there's a lot of things happening right now that we've been manipulated for a long time. We have been corralled and cattle driven for so long. That cartoon's been there for 80 fucking years. It's just I'm you have to stop being a part of the party. Well, that's why I created non-party voters. It's so that you can write in your own vote. And sure enough, some states you can. Many states you can. You have to pull a couple of strings, get some signatures, pay a couple of fees, and you have your candidate that you've created, that you've built, that you've made, that you want to put out there on the ballot. But the goal of non-party voters is simply this. Once all the apples in one barrel starts to go and all the oranges in one container starts to leave, right? They're going to go, where's all these oranges and apples going, man? What the fuck is going on? It's going to make them uncomfortable. It's going to make them, they're going to go, what's going on? It's to get them to make their heads turn, which I thought I could do with the Green Party, but they fucked that up. So we have to do it ourselves. You need to leave your party. You need to just flat out say, fuck you. I'm going to be in the biggest fear. And I'll get this picture on here. I'll go find it. The biggest fear that these parties have is if everybody became independent and voted for whoever they want. My goal is for you to be able to register to vote with or without a party for whoever the fuck you want. That's what it used to be. That's the way it used to be. But anyway, that would get them their heads to turn. I think that's pretty powerful. And seriously, you don't need them. They haven't done shit for you. Okay.
So
I rest my case.
So I need you to mute your mic because I want to play a little. Okay. So just for a little quick change of pace, just a little something lighthearted because this is pretty dark and depressing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is. I mean, how could it not be? I mean, look, it's just so much pain and misery and suffering out there. And I just don't know how to not let it get to me, like, I mean, I get it. Like I have gratitude that I am not homeless or, compared to a lot of people, I'm doing, pretty good, but every day is still a struggle. Every day is like, okay, what's going to get taken away? What is it that they're going to do now to screw us over? And then, I can't help but to hurt for people that, for what they're doing to us here in America and what we're doing to people abroad. I mean, bringing back slavery, bombing, weddings and hospitals and killing civilians and disrupting other people's lives, creating refugees and murder and creating terrorists and all these things and just so much misery. And then you look at Nancy Pelosi eating her ice cream. Fucking bitch. Anyway, so I'm going to play a little clip. This is my governor, elected governor, twice elected governor. Okay. This man is in control of my state. He gets to dictate. He gets to dictate how I live my life. He gets to dictate how much money I make and what I get to have in my life. So let's go to a quick clip of him. All right. So we're going to share screen. Hold on. Let me make sure my volume's on. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go share screen. All right. We're going to go Facebook. All right. Here we go. The magnificent Jim Justice.
I'm going to wear it with tons of pride. And if I've always trouble with my mask, people have gotten a big kick out of that. Here we go again. I've got it upside down. Okay, here we go.
Holy fuck me.
I'm going to wear it with tons of
Just play it again.
What was that? Where'd it go?
Just go back. Go back. Hit back arrow.
pride. And if I've always I'm going to wear it with tons of pride. And if I've always trouble with my mask, people have gotten a big kick out of that. Here we go again. I've got it upside down. Okay, here we go.
Okay. So that's my governor. He's the big brain in charge of everybody here.
That's just fucking amazing.
Ah! This man is in charge. This man is in charge. I would take my chances on picking a random person off the street than I have the guy that puts the fucking face mask over his eyes to put a sticker. First of all, why do you have to take your mask off to put a sticker on? You fucking imbecile.
So it's a joke in the first place. Doesn't mean anything.
Ah! I can't. And it's not just, this is not unique to my state. This is everywhere. You all have your own Jim Justices in office.
Yep.
You know, every single one of you have a Jim Justice you have to deal with. So this is my personal moron that I've been fighting with for a while. That's just the most recent in a long line of idiots that feel entitled to tell us what to do because they were born into some money. But this is where we're at. And who was it? There was another person that did this. There's been several people that can't figure out the face mask. I mean, it's loop, whoop, there you go. It's on. How hard is it? You can't put on a face mask. How can you run a freaking state? You idiot.
Put a sticker on. You can't put a sticker on properly.
I don't even know what to say to that. But this is it. You know, these are the intellectuals that are in charge. I mean, I couldn't possibly make decisions for my own because this fuck is more intelligent and way more qualified to tell me what to do, right?
Have a good point. Have a good point.
So, you got anything to add to that monstrosity?
Oh, I sure do. So the reason why they hire Marines made people that have been in the gun happy, trigger happy, mostly, not all. I'm just saying, as your police officers, and I'm not saying all Marines are like this, but they're attack dogs, right? So when you have a governor that is he's trainable, he's obedient, he's basically got little hooks already ready on his hands and ligaments to be the puppet that you need. And he does, and all he has to do is just be there. He doesn't have to, do much, but just fill that seat. And this is happening all over the country. You've got, I know there's, like Stevie said, there's probably countless mayors and council members and uh, state legislators that you're just like, how the fuck did that motherfucker get in office? Seriously. How in the, what the, huh? Because they're, because, because they don't work for you. Because they work for the predator class. Because they know who to take their orders from, and it's not you. They may portray it. They may at sometimes say, "Oh, we're going to do this, that, and the other thing for you," but when push comes to shove, it's usually legislation. It's usually a bill passed that just bypasses everything you ever needed as the 99%. They pick and choose these idiots. I mean, fucking Biden. This man is on his last fucking leg. I mean, everything. If he didn't have a teleprompter, right? If he didn't have somebody screaming at him in some earphone saying, "Don't fucking say that," or "You need to say this," or da, 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 guiding him, he would be a total fucking wreck. For him to even be contemplated, which I can guarantee that after this election is all said and done, right? And if Trump finally concedes, which I am hoping he carries out these suits and continues to challenge this election only for the reason of for voter integrity. This has nothing to do. They're both going to fucking drop bombs. They're both going to push the lockdowns. They're both going to mandate the vaccine. They're both going to do all this shit. But at this point, you would just like him to fucking keep that fight to make sure they can do further investigations on Dominion, do further investigations on if there is and was or has been some serious voting issues and problems that need to be fixed. Because if he pulls out and it's done and it's over and it goes, all right, you can have it. I'll take the Bill Gates, fame and fortune, DNC fucking deal. Fuck it, I'm fine. Right? Then we've got a big problem because now nobody's doing anything about the voter fraud, the voting machines, the voting process, the rigging and colluding. I mean, you saw the primary in 2015, 2016. You saw the primary in 2019, 2020 with Bernie and how they fucked him over. But he just, that's part of what I do. I'm just a fucking punching bag for the party, right? Just so, which he is. But the thing is, all this stuff came out, and all these people had countless amounts of freaking of proof that he was getting hosed or his cabinet, but he wasn't there to win it anyway. Look, it's the 3D chess, right? If you watch Star Trek and you watch, Kirk play Bones, they play 3D chess, and in chess, these people have planned these things years in advance. These processes have been set up, these models, these theories, these proposals have been sent out and accepted and used way before you even get by the time you get wind of them, you're already screwed. They are way ahead of the game. They're way ahead of the game. And like I said, if you're still in a party, you're part of the game. And if anybody says, "Oh, you need to vote third and fourth," no, fuck, no. I want you to be able to vote for whoever you want to, but you need to leave the parties. As long as here's my analogy I used on my last show. I'm going to say it right now. Let me say this. So there are two cars going off a cliff, right? You're strapped in a baby chair and you can't get out. You're screaming and yelling in the back. I'm not getting health care. I'm not getting a living wage. I'm not getting free college. I'm not getting any, I'm not, the carbon index is still fucked and there's pollution everywhere. We're fucked. And, you know, and just the list goes on the stuff you're whining and crying and complaining about. Every once in a while, the dad goes, hey, shut up back there. Right? Shut up. I know where I'm going. Don't make me pull this car over right now because I'll fucking give it to you. God damn it. I'm sure my kids have heard that a few times. But what I'm saying is you're still in the car. Right? You're still in the car. No matter what, you're still in that car and you're still going over that cliff. Right? If there's a way station, if there's a scenic point where, you know, dad decides to stop before he wants to drive off the cliff because he's drunk and stupid or who knows what the fuck, or on opiates or who fucking knows. Get out. Get out of the fucking car. Right? You've got to get out of the nonsensical mindset that the parties are actually there to help you. They always become compromised. It's not a matter of if, but when. I saw on Twitter, and I posted it on my Facebook and my Twitter. I'll bring it up on my next show. Mike Knight from the Movement for a People's Party, he's hugging hand in hand with fucking Andrew Yang, the biggest opportunist and supporter of Biden. I fully endorse Biden. Is part of that. I said this. Look, I understand what Nick's trying to do, and I understand what Mike's trying to do, and I think they're doing whatever they can. But if they get close or near that type of influence, they're going to get influenced. They're going to get compromised. They'll show that pot of fucking gold. They'll open that door to that vault, and they'll say, "Look, man, this is what you could have," and everybody gets to see it. Anytime you go into Congress, every time, you know, I mean, it's just too obvious at this point. You got to get out of fucking cars that are going over the cliff. Just get out of them. Right? And once they start to see that, they look back and they go, where'd my family go? Dad, bye, see you later. We're not going to fucking go over the cliff with you. We're just not going to do that. Or Uncle Bill or the bus driver. Maybe we should just, instead of that analogy, let's use the bus. Let's use a giant fucking bus instead. And the bus driver's hungover, took some meds or something, and now he's driving the bus, swerving all over the place. And you're all the kids in the bus, but you're just like, you know what? I'm out of here. The next person they pick up, everybody but fucking gets out. The bus driver's gonna go, what the fuck? What just happened? It's gonna make that person probably stop the bus. You getting that? They're gonna go, whoa, we need to do whatever we can to fill this bus back up to drive these people over the cliff. It might make them do something. Please tell me you guys understand this, because I know you do. I know you're getting it. I think the analogies are good, right? I mean, the bus driver's going to go, or dad's going to go, wait a sec, where's my family? I got to go back to the rest stop, right? I got to go back and pick these people up. I got to apologize. What's going on? I'm sorry. You know what? Let me just let mom take the wheel. Sorry, I know that road's fucked up. Let's go north instead, or south instead of fucking keep going, whatever, east or west, whatever. You see, I think you guys are understanding what I'm saying. We just need to show your power individually. That's what I'm saying. Show your power individually. As a U.S. voting republic, that means individual power, which you have. You just didn't know you have it. That's all I'd say about that. Mic drop.
So yeah, the bus analogy is really good, and if there was a destination for that bus, it would be Chernobyl, right? That's where we're headed. It's like,
no, we're going to Fukushima.
no, it's Chernobyl. I mean, like, oh look, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to rationalize with the radiation in there. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to talk to it and I'm going to tell it to boss and I'm going to ask it for things. No, you don't walk into Chernobyl and come out unaffected. That is what party politics is. It is a toxic, deadly environment. Nothing survives in there. No ideal, no person, no hero, no politician, nothing. Once you wade into it, you're dead. You have become, you are now mutated. It's just a matter of time. Some people can maybe survive it a little bit longer and still manage to get out the right talking points, but eventually it will consume you and you will become a part of it. That's it. It is a toxic, deadly place. You cannot step foot in there. There's no way that you can walk in there and not come out unchanged, unaffected, because it's a power. This is a real power. That's why all these heroes, all these people that we wanted to see elected, they never come out again. They never come out right. Sometimes you can still, like Weekend at Bernie's, prop them up and, oh, I support Medicare for all. Oh, but it's puppetry. They're hollow inside. All that's been rotted away already, and all they are just, just talking, just puppets. Everything that was real and alive and true about them, even the best of them, it gets rotted away. So no, there is no politician, there is no hero, there is no party. I'm sorry. I know that most of y'all, already are very well aware of this, but you know what? It sounds dark, it sounds depressing, but it's actually, like the first step in actually regaining your power.
Clarity.
It's regaining your clarity, your freedom. And look, we've got an uphill battle for sure. I mean, the odds are not in our favor. But you know what? The thing is that I believe in us, even when we can't believe in us sometimes. And it's hard to sometimes when you see, and I've seen things, when I worked at Little Caesars making minimum wage, there was a guy in there, couldn't make ends meet, was living with his sister, dead broke, didn't have a car, didn't have anything. And he was in there listening to Ben Shapiro and making excuses for millionaires and billionaires and saying that they were self-made people. And if we wanted what they have, then we just need to work harder. And that's enough to make you just want to say, you know what? I give up. I don't know. Let the planet destroy us. I don't even care if that's our mentality. That's enough to just like, there's no hope. If there's really people out there that are living that kind of life and still can fall victim to that kind of mentality, like, I don't know, are we worth saving? But that's just one person. And yes, those people exist out there, but that's not him. Like that is the effect. That is a testament to how dangerous mainstream media and these party politics are to us. That you can have somebody that has absolutely nothing and is still sitting there saying, yep, I deserve this. But we got to just keep trying and just with every breath that you take, make your existence their misery. Do whatever you can, to undermine them at all costs. Just do whatever you can to take from them like they take from us, because they have no qualms whatsoever with screwing us over and taking. So we're not going to ask for something and get it. So you take it. You take what you have to take in order to make your life a little bit better. Do what you got to do. Go fuck with a politician. Go give them hell. Go over to their house and blast your horn. Interrupt them while they're at their dinner parties, right? Go interrupt them. We don't get a moment's of peace. Neither do they. So that's my closing thoughts.
Let me just say, I'm just going to show the website real quick.
Okay, so we're going to show you the website real quick, and then we're going to be shutting down. But I just wanted to say, thank you everybody for tuning in, and just real quick, we're going to go over the website, and then we'll do our closing stuff.
excuse me, sorry, my mic was off. But if you, let me start from the beginning. I'll make it quick. It's time to break partisan barriers. If you want something done right, do it yourself. My grandma always told me. And if you go down here, it shows the reasoning, what's happening, what's going on, what rights you care about, what you don't care about. George Washington, fucking told us. He said, I have already intimated to you the danger of the parties in the state, with particularly reference to the founding of them on the geographical determinations. Let me now take a more comprehensive view and warn you in the most solemn manner against the baneful effects of the spirit of the party generally. He just knows that they were going to be compromised, and they have been. But if you go down here, of course, you want ranked choice voting. You want the media. You want WikiLeaks and Julia Assange to be freed. You want the bombs to stop dropping. You want money out of politics. There's so many things we need to do. We need to protest for sure. There's some great articles in here, but if you go down, and there's tons of parties, pick a party. There's a bunch of them. Right down here is me moving for People's Party, all the way up to the American First Party, Democratic Party. Just pick and choose. But they like the Tea Party. They got compromised. Everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows that. But if you go down here, you can see there's a map that you should check out. I think that's important. Where is it? I think it's in the About Us guy. Is it here? Right there. Nope, not right there. Not that map. Ah, darn it. I think I passed it. Hang on. I think I passed it. But if you click on the map, I think right here. It's an interactive map. And if you click on the map, it'll show you the states that unconstitutionally at this time are not allowing write-in voting. There are states right now that allow write-in voting, right? And there are some that you have to jump through some hoops on, the yellow ones. But if you click on one, for example, Wyoming, right? You click on it again, it'll take you to ballot access process right here. Okay, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now I can't get to that freaking, oh crap, hold on. Just do this real fast. Okay, gotta move this down. Anyway, it's simple. It's just information to let you know that you can take your power back, but you have to do it individually. You can't depend on a party to do it because they haven't done it. They'll eventually betray you. Just look at the history of how, just in our nation's history, it clearly shows that has been the case for a long, long time. For a long, long time. Okay. And there's some other good stuff in there in regards to some other things. But basically, in a nutshell, I'll stop sharing. I just want to let you guys know, and everybody's here, I want you to have more joy and less pain. That's my goal. I want us and my families and my kids to live in a better planet, and I care about all its inhabitants. Right? I want you to be able to. I want my kids and your kids and their kids and everybody in the future to be able to play in the rivers and the streams and the oceans that I played in, and surfed in and sailed in, and river rafted and almost died in. All these things that I've done for a long time. But I want everybody to have that opportunity, and I want everybody to live freely and do the things they need to do to have just a wonderful, a better life. There's already things in this world that are scary enough. You don't have to go to a fucking horror movie or watch one to know that in the real life, it's pretty fucked up. I mean, what's fucked up? That's fucked up. So go there, find out some information. If you're interested in helping, that's great. If you're not, just learn from it. And know that the only way, not the only way, but it's a major component. There's so many things we can do. Steve from Slow News Day, we've had this discussion. You've got to get out and protest. You've got to get out and do the things you need to do to advocate. You've got to talk about Julian Assange. You've got to bring real journalism back. You've got to do so many things that are paramount, along with this component as well. I'm not saying this is a cure-all. It's going to take many different things coming together as a tsunami, as a wave, fucking slapping around these puppets that are supposed public servants. And hopefully we can get them and find a way to get money out of politics and all this other shit. But thank you very much, Stevie. Thank you for having me on your show. It's a wonderful show. Of course, she's fantastic and wonderful, and I think all y'all would agree. But I'm going to get off and let her go ahead and close the show out. But thank you all for listening.
All right. I just want to, yes. Thank you again, everybody in the chat. And James, you're wonderful. Had lots of really great points to make tonight. Very, very smart, well thought out points. So
That's enough.
no. So anyway, yeah. Please check out his channel. He puts so much work into what he does, so much research. He double, triple, quadruple checks everything that he does.
Friday.
Okay, quiet.
Sorry. I'm in trouble.
Yes, if you want to see more, I do my live streams on here, do videos on here, but I've been working more and more with Roar Media. I just did a live stream with the Natural Progressive. She's absolutely wonderful. She does a lot of like environmental news pieces.
What are their names?
Then over on Roar Media, you've got Shanda and Oz, and they kind of do this, that, and the other. They do a lot of they kind of cover a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I love the stuff that they do over there. So I've been working with them, doing live streams with them on both their channels. And
What's her name? Natural Progressive.
Chris.
Chris.
Yeah. So yeah, they're wonderful. I've really enjoyed working with them over the past few weeks, and they've been a huge help.
Watch everybody.
Yeah, but that's just, if you want to watch more of what we're doing, hopefully we can get James over there at some point. He's been kind of busy with work, but hopefully at some point we'll get him over there. But definitely check them out, and some of the other news people. I'm wanting to make a list of everybody, of like independent media people that we can just kind of pretty much like form a Voltron and just kind of link up together.
And I'll be the head.
So yeah, I mean, if there's any news independent news outlets out there that's small or just starting out, send them our way. Send them our way. So yeah, definitely.
If you want to start something, we'll help you.
Yes, we are here to help. We're here to help others, and it's we just help each other out, man. That's what we do. We're a community, so
We're a village.
we do what we can when we
We're the
can.
village people.
And if I can help your channel out in any way, then yeah, please let me know. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.